Shut up, be quiet. Shh. Shut up, stop crying. Shh. You don't wanna, you don't wanna. You don't wanna, you don't wanna.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you may be listening to me from. Welcome back to Nyalwanga channel. Thank you, my subscribers. Thank you, my listeners, even if you have not yet subscribed to my channel. Thank you for coming back and listening to my content. And thank you for supporting my channel. May God bless you. I had promised myself that I would be more consistent in posting at least a video every day or every 2 days. But that is easier said than done. For now, I know I will not be as consistent as I want to be, but later on, I know this is going to change. I'm back in Kenya right now for my sister's funeral. My sister's funeral will be on Tuesday, 16th, so I'm just trying to get things ready for that day. So, well, here I am. Now, this is something I've been meaning to talk about, but because I was traveling, I found that I could not record this. I think I should record it before I start my second leg of traveling. I just want to say something about what transpired between Cecil and Passy and how the reactors took this and made a big deal out of it. Sorry, I had to pick a call. So this is my own reaction. This is my own opinion, and this is how I feel about this issue and what transpired between Passy and Mr. Cecil. Now, I'll just start by going back to history. Like I always say, I love history. We look at the world we live in. God created this world for us. And then he created Adam and Eve. He created Eve for Adam so that Eve could be Adam's helper. And in this world that we live in, men have a specific role to play, and so do women. Courtship and dating are terminologies that transcend boundaries, they transcend age, and they transcend so many other, barriers that we put upon ourselves as human beings. And that's why sometimes you see an old woman and another old woman still falling in love, getting married, dating, because love transcends age, love transcends region, and love, or even dating, if it's not love, these are things that are always there. This is what makes us human beings. Animals don't date. They court in a way, but they don't date. So, dating has no age limit and love has no age limit. Now, why am I talking about this? Let me just go back to 2 years ago. There was this rumor about President Obasanjo marrying a girl of 18 years, or was it 20 years? I don't know whether that was true or not. If you know President Obasanjo, he is the former president of Nigeria. That is just one of them. If you just look at history, you'll find that couples with big age gaps have a better relationship. They have more trust. They have more commitment. They have less jealousy than people who marry, those who marry people who are almost the same age as them. And if you look at the world we live in, and even today, there are so many people who have lived together despite the age gap. The first person I remember very, very well is a woman called Gertrude Janaway. She married a man called John Janaway. That was a long time ago. I love history, so I like reading about people and about things. They got married in 1977. John was 81 years old. He was a civil veteran. Gertrude was 18. The age gap between them was 63 years. 63 years. Those of you who know Emmanuel Macron of France, he fell in love with his English teacher. He was only 15 years old. His English teacher, the woman he is still married to up to today, was 40 years. The age gap between them was 25 years. If you look at celebrity couples, those of you who know Harrison Ford is married to Callista. They started dating in 2002. Ford was 59 years old, she was 37. So there are so many couples who have gotten married despite the age gap. I'm saying this because Passy was being interviewed by Gintu, and she was exposing the things and whatever it is that Mr. Cecil told him, the conversations, and all these things that they had between them. She was exposing that on of course, because she wanted to please Gintu and company. But most importantly, at the end of it, she says, I'm only 28 years old and he is 72. The difference between them is 42 years. The difference between them is 42 years. Gertrude and John had a difference of 63 years, but they were still married and they lived happily. So age is really not a factor here. Now, why am I saying this? Because you see, man has always been the chaser. In most relationships, you find that it's the man who chases the woman. This is how God made man. They have always chased after women since time immemorial. Always. The woman says yes or no, depending on their preferences. If a man approaches you and you feel that that is not the relationship for you, say no and move on. There are some people who say no, but later on, depending on what happens after that, they change their minds and say yes. But the most important thing is, don't give mixed messages that keeps encouraging the other person to continue pursuing you. If you give a flat no to the man, he will read the message and move on. But if you continue scratching your leg on the sand, drawing patterns on the sand, and not giving a definite answer, the man will continue coming. In my country, I don't know whether it happens in other countries also, we usually say, these women from the village, when a man approaches them, they behave as if they are so shy, so they don't look at you, they look on the ground, and then they scratch things on the ground, they make patterns with their legs, and they don't exactly give you a response. They give you some vague response that leaves you hanging, and you always come back. This is exactly what Passy was doing, scratching the sand with her legs, not giving Cecil a definite answer, saying, no, I cannot do this, move on, but keep saying, oh, I'll think about it. Oh, maybe I'll come. Let me think about it. And as long as you say that, Mr. Cecil, being a man, he will still keep coming. And that's exactly what was going on. Mr. Cecil kept coming until Passy finally said no. So this thing of what's her name, Passy, coming out to expose the conversations between her and Mr. Cecil, I thought was the most immature thing that a woman like Cecil would do. Because Cecil is not an 18-year-old girl. Cecil is a grown-up woman who has had her husband before, who has children, and I'm sure even after her husband died, she must have had other women. I'm not siding with Mr. Cecil for trying to pursue Passy. But the thing is, coming out to reveal the things that somebody has told you in confidence is really very, very, very immature. Because the fact is, it does not matter what technique Cecil used to try and trap Passy. All men use techniques to get hold of the woman that they love. Cecil booked a hotel room. He said his money was going to get lost, so Passy should come to the hotel room. That was just his way of trying to get Passy to travel to Nairobi and be with him. That's what men do. Either they'll book a hotel, or they tell you that they have money, or they'll take you out. They'll buy you lunch. They'll buy you KFC. They'll buy you pizza. They'll buy you shoes. They'll buy you clothes. Or even cement to build your house. The way Passy said he has never even bought for me one cement. Is she saying that if Mr. Cecil had bought cement, she would have gone with him and she would not have brought this nonsense online? That is what men do to trap women. They dangle something in front of you. If you like it, you fall for it, you'll go. But probably Mr. Cecil did not dangle enough for Passy, so Passy did not fall for the bait. And the fact is, therefore, Mr. Cecil did not. Suppose Mr. Cecil had bought the cement, would she have gone? And this is for Passy. Let me ask you, Passy, do you want to say that this is the first man ever to pursue you ever since your husband died? That you have never had a boyfriend after your husband died? Because I don't believe that. I do not believe that Mr. Cecil is the first person to ever try to pursue you after your husband died. Because that is not true. Now, why am I saying this is not true? Let's look at Passy herself. Before she got married, Passy says she's 28. How old is her first son? That means Passy got married before she was even 17. So this Passy was not the angel that she pretends to be right now. If at that time before she was 17, she was already pregnant with another man's child and she had to marry that man because of that pregnancy, and of course she ended up getting the other children, it means she was making herself available as a young girl, a minor, to men. And that's how she ended up marrying this man that she got children with and who eventually died. She was a man chaser. She got herself pregnant. She had to marry the man. Should we say Gintu is her latest catch? Because that relationship between Passy and Gintu has more than just, friendship or help. There is something more to that friendship between Passy and Gintu, which I would like to find out. So now, Cecil approached you, Passy, as any adult would. He did not harass you. Did he harass Passy? I don't know, me, because I watched that video. There was no harassment. In fact, he was very, very gentlemanly. He was very, very patient with Passy. Even when Passy kept saying, I don't know, I'll think about it, he kept asking, okay, so what do you decide? What have you decided? Are you coming to Nairobi? Just come to Nairobi. I'll meet you at the bus stop. Just call me and let me know where you are. I'll come for you. Was that harassment? No. Did he molest Passy? No. Did he force Passy into doing anything? No. So what crime is it that Mr. Cecil committed that caused this YouTube, what is it called? The YouTube street to burst into conversation? A grown man trying to pursue or seduce a grown woman whose husband is dead, so she is available. Is that a crime? To try and pursue a woman who is available, whose husband has died and is available? So why is the internet so overblown with this issue of Cecil and Passy? Cecil he wasn't a predator. He was simply trying to get a date with Cecil, with the Passy. And if Passy said no, fine, move on, Passy. Move on. But you see, the way they are bringing this thing is as if these people have very, very, very specific intentions. They have very, very specific intentions. And the person I sympathize with here is Cecil, because he exposed himself, he made himself vulnerable, and now his wife is definitely wondering what kind of man he is. And that is where he went wrong. But for pursuing Cecil, going after Passy, that is what every man does. Anybody who is married, at some point in time, that man that you are married to came after you, pursued you, seduced you, talked to you, offered you things, dangled things in front of you, and the question is, did you accept or not? Now let's look at animals. Because these people of Nyabohanse seem to be making seduction such a huge thing. It's an abomination. It should not happen. Let's look at animals. Look at a chicken. A chicken will seduce the what is it called? The cock will seduce the hen. Do some dance before her, before the hen agrees. How about other birds? We have this, what do you call it? Is it the turkey that brings out its huge red beard? I don't know what to call that. I've forgotten the name of that thing that hangs on the turkey's chin. You know, he plays some game at the lady before the lady finally agrees. And so many other animals, they do their own dances for the lady. That is their own seduction. So, if Cecil is going to be persecuted for having seduced, if Mr. Cecil is going to be persecuted for having seduced Passy, then all these animals out there should be persecuted for doing the dance for their lady animals before they catch them. If animals know that you need to dance before your lady, before you get her, how is it possible that human beings do not know that before you get a lady, you have to dangle some things in front of her? And that is what Cecil was doing. Now the woman brings the things to to YouTube because she wants money from subscribers, and she wants to please some subscribers. This is so ridiculous. I heard that thing from Passy and I was just shocked, because she's saying that Cecil wanted to expose her and show that she is the worst person. Cecil was addressing the issue of how she was always asking for money. This is what Cecil was addressing, and this is what Passy should have addressed. She should have said, no, I have not asked you for money at any one time. I have been doing this and that and that. But Cecil did not address any kind of relationship issue between him and Passy, because he knew that was a private matter and had nothing to do with the money that he was talking about. But little did he know that when you try to seduce a woman with a small mind, you are the one who is going to be in trouble. So please don't go for these small-minded women. So Mr. Cecil, that's a lesson for you. Next time you want to cheat on your wife, choose an intelligent woman. Don't go for a daft one like Passy, because she can easily be manipulated to do things, you know. Choose an intelligent woman who has brains, who knows that some things are meant for the bedroom and some things are meant for the public. So if Passy wants to behave like a chicken brain, oh God, she was behaving as if she didn't know Mr. Cecil's intentions. She knew what Mr. Cecil was after. She's not a baby. When she saw Mr. Cecil's intentions, she should not have behaved like a chicken brain woman. She should have been smart enough to see that this man wants me for something different from what I want from him. I want him to help me, support me, pay school fees for my children, but I don't want any relationship. You would have put an end to that from the very, very beginning. If you're strong, you're smart, and you tell somebody no, and let your no be no, and let your yes be yes, that person will respect you. They will respect you. But if you carry yourself like a yes-no woman, yes-no woman, Mr. Cecil will come for you, and he's not the only one. Even Gintu will come for you, and all these other men in the village. I'm sure if they have not come for you yet, because I'm sure they have. And as for the lazy gang that are running around with this story, let's count some of them one by one. I'll start with the carrot woman. This carrot woman has a teenage daughter whose father nobody knows. She got a child in her teenage. Nobody knows who the father is. How did she get to the point of getting the baby with this man? There must have been some seduction. So she should... Sorry, I had to take a call. So Carrot has a teenage daughter. We don't know what who the father is. She has never told us the seduction dance that the man did for her so she could get a baby with him at 18 years, just like Passy. And now she's busy running up and down YouTube, trying to persecute Cecil for having been after Passy. Really? This is nonsense. And look at BBTV. She has her old hubby. How did she get to marry that old man? He must have done some chicken dance for her, for him to marry her. Otherwise, how did he seduce her? Did he pick her from the convent and just took her to his house or took her to church? No. He must have done other things before they finally reached that final destination. So let's not pretend. We are adults. Passy is an adult. Mr. Cecil is an adult. And all these women who are running around the internet talking about Passy and all that, talking about Cecil, they are adults and they've been through that process. Cecil did not molest anybody. He did not force anybody. He did not take anything away from anybody. Like I said, the only person who should be disappointed here is Mr. Cecil's wife. So let's stop pretending on this YouTube, street. How about Mogesi, who is busy throwing his mouth around? Wasn't he the same one who was being chased by that girl's father, almost being arrested by some child's father because he had pulled the daughter out of school? So what was that? Isn't it better a 72-year-old man and a 28-year-old woman, widow, than Mogesi pulling an underage child out of school? Which one is worse? And the lazy gang are not talking about it. Nobody even talked about the fact that Mogesi was almost being arrested by a parent of a child that he had taken out of school. Passy is a grown woman. Cecil did not take him out of school. Cecil did not get him. She was already there. She knew all the things that Mr. Cecil was asking her to do. Really? This woman? These people just like making drama. The only mistake Cecil made here is being unfaithful to his wife, and his wife will deal with that. That is his wife's problem. Now look at all these women who have baggages behind them, stories behind them, picking this one. And yet we know they all have their own stories. And even this thing of recording conversations you have with people. How about all the other men that you have gone with, Mr. Passy? Because I know for sure you have been having other affairs in that village place. Did you record their conversations? Or this one you recorded because there was the dollar involved. You can blackmail this man into sending you some money so you don't have to expose his conversations. That's why you keep saying, I have evidence on my phone. I have evidence on my phone. I've not seen any evidence. What is the evidence? The conversation? Or is it the cucumber pictures? These are pictures that anybody can send. Anybody can send. And even if he sent the picture, that is part of his seduction strategy. You should have said yes, no from the very beginning, and all this would not have happened. So you are responsible for exactly what happened to you. If somebody is after me, believe you me, I will not wait. I will tell you no, I don't want, or yes. And then we proceed from there. Sincerely. These people are just getting out of hand. They are just getting out of hand. And this person now has just become some. In fact, so really, we should stop this nonsense of when something happens, we want to blow it out of proportions and make mountains out of it, when it's something that is very, very, very normal, that can be addressed in any normal way. A grown-up going after a grown-up woman has never been an issue in Kenya, ever. It's the first time I've heard of such a thing. It's the first time I've heard of such a thing that has made people, so mouthy, simply because an old man of 72 approached a woman of 28, a consenting adult, an adult who is available. She's a widow, her husband has died, and she can go for any man. What is wrong with somebody approaching her? Please, let's stop making drama. If you want to do reaction on something real. Don't just go bringing nonsense onto YouTube because you want money. In fact, this person has become the worst of all these reactors. She can be compared to Gintu. These days, she's on live literally every day, exposing herself. Before long, we'll hear that she has a baby. And I wonder where that baby will come from. Because that's exactly what she's looking for. Making herself available. So my dear subscribers, my listeners, this is what I wanted to share with you today. Because I've been I listened to this and I really felt bad. I said, what is all this nonsense? If she wants to address the issue of scamming that Cecil talked about, address it. But don't bring things that really have nothing. Those are personal issues that have nothing to do with YouTube. Some of these people need to go to school, really. They need to go to school. So my listeners, thank you very much for listening. Please leave a comment. Tell me what you think. And subscribe if you have not subscribed. Share my video so we can grow. And may God bless you.